Okay, we are back with another tool time with Matt. You have to let us know if these are helpful. I do know the drill one was really helpful for some people that didn't know some of the features of the drill. So just keep letting us know that these are helpful and we will keep doing them. So today, Matt wanted to share this. Does anybody know what this is called? It's called a square, and I don't understand it. I've got his plastic one, but he's got this metal one. My dad used to tell me, go grab the square. Well, this isn't a square to me, so I would never grab the right thing. But he's going to kind of show us how to use this square for different things. If you have any questions, let us know, and we will come back in and answer them. But I'm going to flip around the camera right here. Okay.
So a square is great to make sure that you are cutting at a perfect cut at 90 degrees. Sometimes if you cut like not at 90 degrees, then your boards will not line up. So it's very important you cut everything at 90 degrees. So for a square, it has a little lip right here. You're gonna put it on one side, and then you just draw a line, and that gives you a perfect 90-degree cut. You can also use a square if you want to do a 45-degree mark.
And there are different angles on the squares too.
Then you can also figure out you got by pivoting the angle. You can pick the angle that you want it to be.
But mostly you and I are using it. Are you mostly using it for?
We're using it to get straight cut.
Straight cut. That's for most of our projects.
Another thing that I like to do with this is I use it as a guide every now and then. If you use like a circular saw, sometimes
that's what this is.
Sometimes you go zig off the line. So it's always easiest is if you can use this.
A metal one? Or does it matter?
It doesn't
matter. Okay.
As a guide. So put this, you can see where I'm going to line up. Pencil mark.
And then he's hanging onto that square, and then are you going to go?
Yep. Straight through.
Yeah, cut right along there. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So another thing this is good for is if you're ever going to bring boards straight up and you want to make sure it's perfectly straight up, you can use a square to make sure it is lined up. If it's off to the side, then it will.
So that just tells you, that it's straight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Yep. So what would you use this for? Are you talking about legs? What else? What else would you use? Like this kind of, just any kind of board that's you're gonna have at a 90-degree angle off of another board? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you want to show them the casters thing then that you were talking about? So we're doing a lot of furniture projects, a lot that you guys know that. And so I really want him to show these tools, especially for anybody that's flipping furniture or it's just good to kind of know how to use these kinds of tools for those kinds of projects that are, like flipping furniture or something you would do around your house.
Can I backtrack?
Yeah, backtrack, go ahead.
Okay. So there's another thing, if you have a bigger board,
the square doesn't fit all the way across.
The square doesn't fit. So you draw your line, then flip it over to the other side.
All right.
All right.
And he uses the square a lot. I'm always like, I don't get it. Why are you?
Another thing is if I want to put casters on, then if I want to do like 2 inches in, it'll measure for me. So there's 2 inches. I make my line here, put it on the other side, and where it meets, that's where I would drill.
You would drill right here where it meets for the, okay. And we put casters on a lot of things. The casters can be, on the bottom of legs of something. We have made like furniture where he has made like a box around a metal piece, and then he will put casters on the wood box. So casters, we do a lot of things with casters.
It's a lot easier to measure. So if I'm going 4 inches,
And you're saying, okay, so you're saying it's a lot easier to do that instead of getting a tape measure out? Is that what you mean? Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes with the tape measure, the end's a little bit loose.
Oops. Yep.
So just to get
that's more precise and like straight and right there.
measurement,
So, but you would only be able to go up to, what is that, 6?
6. Well, they make bigger squares, but
Oh, okay, okay.
they also have other little markings here. So there's your line. There's 1 inch. There's 2 inch. There's 3 inch.
What's that for? Like what?
So if you do that, and then there's 2 inches, and you know it's.
Oh.
So if you have a 2-inch board,
Yeah.
and you want to make sure you put them in there perfect.
That's
right?
how you use it to measure that without.
And then you can put in like a 2-inch board to make sure it's straight all the.
Okay. So some of these videos will be longer, obviously, depending on what we're trying to share with you guys. But some of these simple tools, and look, you can find these at yard sales and estate sales. And some of these simple tools that, number one, I wish they would call it a triangle, but I guess it is because you're making square, like 90-degree square. Well, no, that's in a triangle too. Why is it called a square?
Because you're squaring up a board. Basically what you're doing is you're squaring up the board. See that? That's a square. You're making a square board.
Oh, okay. But if you ever need me to find it, now I know, but look for the triangle. That's what I'm looking for. But anyway, so these, like this, I would have never looked at twice. My dad, he always did construction, so I was always around these. But Matt, and like I said before, never knew anything about tools until my dad taught him a lot and just with our projects. So this is a little handy tool that Matt uses a lot for different projects, flipping furniture. You know, I'm trying to think of what else we do. Putting casters on things, making furniture, making home decor. He will grab this a lot. So it is a useful little tool. So if you have any questions about anything he said here with the square, let us know. If there's a particular tool you want him to share, let us know that too. But we will just continue kind of working through his workshop here and sharing different tools in these videos. So anything else? Nope. He's just not, nope, shaking his head. I think he's done. All right, guys, we'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, I just wanted to hop back on here. We'll kind of edit this video to put it together, but Matt made a good point, and so I thought this was something to just mention here. So something like a miter saw that's going to make straight cuts, this is kind of intimidating, and we can definitely do, some more of these bigger power tools in a video, but this can be intimidating for a beginner. So, but a miter saw will make a straight cut. It'll make your angle cuts. That's what kind of this is for.
It's a big investment.
And it's a big investment. Yeah. Like what he just said. So can you explain like why this is? So somebody like a beginner that wants to make straight cuts or angular cuts.
This is very important if you're doing any type of projects, anything, you got to have the board be square. You got to have that straight cut.
Okay. So, and this is going to ensure this little thing. How much are these, Matt? Like this
Under
one?
$10.
This under $10 tool will make sure that your boards are straight. And then you can get, invest in a circular saw or what'd you say? Probably not a jig. Oh, a jigsaw would do it?
Jigsaw, you can still use this as a guide to go straight.
Okay, so those aren't as intimidating as a full-on miter saw. So I just thought that was a good point to make. This is definitely something to invest in. To make straight cuts.
Yep. And to make sure everything is square.
And to make everything, yes, it's square because it's called a square.